Yuta pulls out a knife from her pocket and is about to skewer Luffy when suddenly an arm stops her and says, "Oh no, stop baby, 3 billion belly and one of my arms." The film opens with thousands of people queuing up to go to Yuta's concert. The Straw Hat Pirates were also preparing to go to Yuta's concert. Sanji was happy that he was about to go see Yuta's concert, but Zoro looked at him with disdain and provocation. Usopp and Chopper seem to be big fans of Yuta. Brook doesn't want to admit it, but he says Yuta's voice is very special, like she's from another world. Jinbei is also surprised to see some fishmen going to see Yuta's music performance, which shows that this musical performance will be very special. Now that the show has started, the music has been played, and Yuta starts performing her butt-shaking rhythm. Her voice along with the charming dance makes the whole stage lively immediately. This concert is so big that many people will notice it. These pirates are planning to kidnap Yuta. If this mission is successful, they will gain fame and wealth. At this time Luffy also swings straight up to the stage to talk to Yuta. It turns out that Luffy and Yuta have known each other for a long time. They immediately hugged but did not kiss. Sanji felt unfair and jealous of Luffy because a fool like Luffy knew a lot of beautiful girls, but a handsome person like Sanji had to stay on Gay Island for the past 2 years. Luffy's pirates wondered why Luffy knew super idol like Yuta. Luffy accidentally revealed Yuta was the daughter of Shanks the amputee. This quote of Luffy surprised people all over the world because no one could believe that Yuta was the daughter of a powerful 4 emperors. The boisterous show is suddenly interrupted by certain pirates who want to kidnap Yuta, who think that if Yuta is Shanks' daughter, she will be his weak point. These guys hadn't even finished their introduction, they were shot down by a spark from the sky. It turned out that Broly and Oven of Big Mom pirates had also come here to kidnap Yuta. Sanji couldn't stand still when he saw a beautiful girl like Yuta being bullied. Brook also wanted to punish the spoilers of this very boisterous music performance. Just like that, each member of the Straw Hat Pirates rushed up and finished dealing with these vile and mediocre pirates, while everyone didn't notice. Yuta had one pirate put a knife to her neck. Everyone was very worried, but Yuta said she was okay. She would begin to let them listen to music that enlightened and saved their souls. After speaking, the music began to play. Yuta used the power of the devil fruit to trap all these saboteurs and imprison them in vocals. After dealing with this issue, Yuta continued the program, which will last forever without stopping. From afar, the members of Gorosei were all in front of the television to watch Yuta's live show. They realized that she had a large fan base, so they had to cut off this danger before it was too late. They sent the entire navy straight forward to Elegia Island to capture Yuta. Back at the music festival, Yuta used his abilities to create food and toys for fans. The Straw Hat group also took the opportunity to have fun this time to open a big buffet on this island. At this time Big Mom was also watching Yuta's live show. She is quite surprised to learn that Yuta is the son of the 4 emperors Shanks, so Big Mom wants Yuta at any cost. At this time Katakuri appears and he wants to arrest Yuta because Katakuri's sister is in Yuta's custody. Luffy's group is having a lively party at the same time that Yuta comes and wants to compete with Luffy. Luffy thinks Yuta is quite immature, so he can't win him over. Yuta looks annoyed and says that she won Luffy 183 fights, but Luffy thinks the winner of 183 matches is him. It turns out that Yuta and Luffy have had a lot of competitions against each other in the past, which are eating, throwing knives and wrestling competitions. After speaking, Yuta immediately puts lunch in the ring to see who eats faster will win and the loser will be butted by the bull. The victory should have been in Luffy's favor, but Yuta offered Luffy a huge glass of water which distracted him and lost. This caused Luffy to be knocked into the lake by a bull. Luckily Yuta managed to rescue Luffy with his powers. Nami now wondered why Luffy and Yuta knew each other. It turns out that Yuta accompanied Shanks to Luffy's village. When they just met they rushed to compete against each other about the eating contest, and Luffy was hit again by Yuta's plan, causing him to lose stupidly. Luffy refused to accept losing and solicited a fight with Yuta, but Shanks stopped him. Now he tries to reshape his shabby brain to remember the time he waited for Shanks and his teammates to return, but when Shanks stops at the dock, Luffy doesn't see where Yuta is, so Luffy asks Shanks, but he says Yuta left the troop to become a singer. Yuta advises Luffy to quit being a pirate and stay here and have fun with her, but Luffy doesn't heed Yuta's advice and he wants to go back to his boat to sleep. Yuta decides not to let Luffy go back to the boat by trapping Nami and Sanji on the cord board. Under the wild shouts of the fans, Yuta starts playing music and dancing excitedly, creating an army to attack the members of the Straw Hat Pirates. Jinbei uses Fishman Karate to wipe out one army, but another appears. Zoro and Frankie also fight fiercely with these troops. After the normal dances, Yuta switches to shaking his ass and dancing more violently. This created an overwhelming power and successfully bound Luffy and imprisoned his comrades. At Yuta's behest, her crowd of passionate fans threw buckets of seawater at Luffy, causing him to go flat like a tire. Helmeppo wanted to run over to help Luffy, but Kobe stopped him because he believed Luffy would be fine. What they needed to do now was wait for their chance. At this point, Bartolomeo appeared from somewhere and used his powers to protect Luffy, and they were teleported away. It turns out that Law is also here. Everyone thinks he is a fan of Yuta, but in fact his pet is Yuta's fan, so forces him to go here. They had just escaped not long ago when Yuta appeared and called on everyone to hunt down the pirates and create armies to patrol everywhere. Luffy, while on the run, met an old man, who identified himself as the former ruler of this island of Elegia. His name was Golden. He explained that this place used to be known as the capital of music before everyone disappeared in one night. The old man recounted that in the old days when the people on the island disappeared, he raised Yuta here alone, but because there were only two of them, Yuta felt very lonely. She always wrote songs about friendship and happiness. Some time later Yuta grew up and she started using Den Den Mushi to spread her songs. Yuta's voice was loved by many people and quickly spread to every corner of the world. But then Yuta was curious about the dark sides of the world. Yuta began to dig deeper and people gradually praised her as a saint. After a while Yuta considered herself to have a great power and decided to create a new world for everyone, a place that doesn't need to work for a living, can still be happy. The old man was explaining more about Yuta's plan when they were discovered by Yuta. Beppo turned from Fat Bear into Cute Bear. Luffy meets Yuta again and wonders why she left Shanks' boat. He thinks Yuta's dream is to become a musician for the red-haired pirates, but hearing Luffy mention Shanks drives Yuta crazy and unleashes the power to bind Luffy and steal Luffy's straw hat. Once again Yuta advised Luffy to forget about being a pirate and stay and have fun in the world she created. Law saw the situation was not okay, so he used his powers to help them escape, because he didn't want Luffy to act foolish, so Law and Bartolomeo colluded to lock Luffy up. Law discovers that there are Marines and a bunch of intelligence agents mingling in the audience. This means that the world government and Navy have noticed Yuta's powers and seen her as a threat. Law wants to find some navies near the island to investigate the situation. Luffy's diehard fan also suffers from Zoro's sugar blindness, and as a result he and Luffy are rolled off a cliff, causing Luffy to almost vomit. At this time, Yuta tied up the old man and showed off the top Musica symphony she owned, which means she was not afraid of anyone, even the world government and Navy. At this time Luffy is very worried because suddenly Sunny disappeared. However, Sunny emerged from the water in a cuter version. The Navy also landed on this island. They searched everywhere and found people sleeping like death. After a long search, the senior Marines found Yuta. Admiral Fujitora smelled that what Yuta was eating was awakened mushrooms. People who eat this mushroom, they will not be able to sleep and over time they will die of exhaustion. Hearing this, they realized that Yuta has decided to drag the people on this island to die with her. Yuta thinks that it is okay for this shabby world to die because the soul is more important than the body. When they found it impossible to advise Yuta, all navies were ready to fight, but Yuta was about to sing when the entire navy was frightened and put on headphones. But that still could not resist Yuta. She called on those who were under hypnosis to attack the navy. Very soon some navies had their headphones removed and had to listen to Yuta's symphony, causing them to be hypnotized and return to kill each other. Inside Yuta's virtual world, those who oppose Yuta are all in captivity. Robin analyzes that previously Yuta said that she wanted to turn everyone into a song, which according to this arrangement was probably some kind of melody. She told Brook to try singing, but Brook was busy looking at something of Nami and there was no chord here, so he couldn't sing it right now. At this point Kobe and Bruno come over and they give the chord for Brook to sing, and gradually everyone is freed. Before they leave, Broly and Oven throw away their egos to ask Brook to save them. Thanks to Beppo's help, so Golden can also escape this chord. At this point Luffy meets Kobe and Bruno again. This time Kobe comes here to explain to Luffy's group about Yuta's powers. In fact, the world that people are in is not the real world. what people are seeing is a virtual world created by Yuta by the power of the musical devil fruit. The outsiders are hypnotized and unconscious. Yuta can also control the human body in the real world. Law thinks that if it is the power created by the devil fruit, then there will definitely be weakness. Yes. If Yuta in the real world is exhausted and sleeps, then everyone will be freed from this world. However, currently Yuta is eating awakening mushrooms, so she cannot sleep. If Yuta is killed, then everyone locked in this virtual world will die too. Kobe tells them that the members of the Straw Hat Pirates are at Elegia Castle for Robin to study more about the power mechanism of the devil fruit that Yuta possesses. Chopper asks the rats for directions and they already know the next path. In the Marie Joy's sanctuary, the Gorosei are very impatient because the number of victims who fall into Yuta's hallucinations has increased exponentially. If this situation continues, 70% of the world's population is dragged into Yuta's virtual world. At this time, one Tenryubito comes to Yuta's place. He wanted to enslave Yuta, but his bodyguards couldn't do anything about Yuta, so he shot down his bodyguards. Yuta treated the guards' wounds, then imprisoned them to the cord bar. She treated Tenryubito with powerful and precise punches. Some people who see her guilty of Tenryubito fear that Yuta will be hunted by the Navy and the world government. Some fans now want to go home. At this moment Kobe appears and advises Yuta to stop. At first Yuta thinks that Kobe is Navy, so he will be on Tenryubito's side, but some fans tell her that Kobe is the naval hero, saved everyone in one incident. Taking the opportunity to be responded to by the crowd, Kobe tells everyone the truth about this virtual world. He also urges people to protest so that Yuta can take them out. Hearing this, Yuta immediately explains that she is trying to create a happy world for everyone. But now she also has to receive fierce opposition from her haters, which makes Yuta very angry, and she uses her powers to turn those who cursed at her into toys and food. Back to Robin's group. After getting inside, everyone must confront two guard statues to buy time for Robin to translate all the ancient words on the ceiling. After everything is done, they immediately escape and meet their captain Luffy again. Robin then tells them that they cannot return to the real world on their own unless Yuta wants to release them. But if anyone possesses the power of this musical devil fruit and summons Tot Musica, they will have a chance to escape from here. It is said that there is an entity from time immemorial created from human feelings of loneliness and sadness. It is called Tot Musica. When Tot Musica is summoned, it will appear both in the virtual world and the real world. If they can defeat Tot Musica in both real and virtual worlds at the same time, they can get out of this virtual world and out, even though they know it. But they are wondering who will attack Tot Musica in the real world. They are discussing, and at this time Old Man Golden walks over. He says Shanks will come here and stop Yuta from outside. Hearing this, Luffy rushed to Yuta's place. When he met Yuta, Luffy knocked out all the subordinates created by Yuta's powers. Luffy had no intention of fighting with Yuta, and instead he would advise her. However, he failed and his straw hat was torn by Yuta. Yuta cries, and she says she used to consider Shanks her biological father, and she considers the people on that ship as her family. But Shanks took advantage of her and took her to this island to reach people. Then he looted, killed and destroyed this place, then left Yuta here. Yuta advises Luffy not to be a pirate anymore because he is just a tool of Shanks. Luffy doesn't believe what Yuta says and he is determined to fight to the end. In the real world, after Yuta feels that she can't advise Luffy, she picks up the knife and is about to stab Luffy when suddenly Shanks appears and stops Yuta. Seeing Shanks appear makes Yuta agitated and controls everyone to attack the person she once considered her father. In the virtual world, Luffy and his allies attack the council on Yuta. In the real world, Shanks is willing to withstand the attack from Yuta, and he and his teammates do not resist in the slightest. At this time the Navy and Admiral Kizaru appeared and attacked the civilians in order to capture Yuta. Shanks immediately blocks all attacks from Kizaru, and he gives Kizaru an advice that if Kizaru attacks again, he will lose one arm like Shanks. Yuta, when she saw her audience being killed by the Navy, she immediately agitated and summoned Tot Musica. Tot Musica began to appear in both worlds and Yuta also lost control. Seeing this, Luffy immediately rushed to punch Tot Musica repeatedly in the face, but it was useless. Usopp and everyone said they would handle Tot Musica and Luffy would handle Yuta. Hearing this, Luffy immediately turned on Gear 2 and rushed to Yuta to try to talk to her. however Luffy was thrown a spear at him by Yuta, but at this moment Old Man Golden blocked that spear for Luffy. The Old Golden apologizes to Yuta for lying to her, and taught Musica is the culprit of destroying this island. When the people here learn that Yuta will leave with Shanks, the musicians of this city open a music festival dedicated to her. But it was at this moment that taught Musica came to Yuta's side and fascinated her. After Yuta sang, the Demon King was summoned and he destroyed everything. At that time Yuta also tried to save everyone, but she was exhausted and fainted. At that time the Navy also went to this place. Shanks immediately took all responsibility for him on Yuta's behalf. He left Yuta on this island so she could continue pursuing her dreams of singing. Hearing this, Luffy was happy to learn Shanks was innocent and wished Yuta would return to normal, but it was all too late. Yuta was absorbed by taught Musica and it started attacking people. Immediately Luffy uses Gear 4 and rushes into battle with taught Musica. In the real world, Shanks also rushes to attack taught Musica fiercely. At the same time Katakuri appears and he tells Shanks that they must defeat taught Musica in both real and virtual worlds at the same time to be able to wipe it out. Katakuri uses his high-level Haki of observation so he can see the afterlife through his sister's eyes. Now both Luffy and Shanks feel each other. After a moment of concentration, Usopp can also link eyes with his father and signal everyone in the virtual world to prepare to attack. Through the eyes of Usopp father and son, everyone from the two real and virtual worlds try their best to attack taught Musica. After they destroy all the outer cover of taught Musica, Luffy and Shanks will be the decisive blow to defeat taught Musica. The combination of Luffy and Shanks creates a very powerful attack to wipe out taught Musica to rescue Yuta. After wiping out taught Musica, Shanks immediately gives the antidote to Yuta to drink. After defeating taught Musica, everyone should wake up, but they lose control and fight. Yuta also realizes her mistake. She decides not to take the medicine anymore and sings to bring everyone back to normal. At this time Kizaru and his navy appear intending to attack them, but Shanks uses his powerful Haushiku Haki to frighten all navy forces. After Luffy wakes up, he finds Shanks and Yuta have left together. Luffy's straw hat has been restored intact by Yuta. If you look closely, you can see a box. Do you think Yuta is dead? Please leave a comment below and do not forget to like and subscribe for this video if you feel it is very good. Goodbye and see you soon.